thanks to the hellomyyoga team, my teachers, my yoga teachers, my chanting teachers, and all those that I learn from every day, that I'm here talking to you all about Santosha. A very difficult topic to talk about. It has so many aspects to it, though we are talking from the lens of yoga, from the lens of the different texts that are there. Santosha is, as you rightly said, it emanates from so many of our expectations that we have with life. Or the lack of Santosha is what I think we experience when our expectations in life are not met. But what we will talk about, what we will do is something that, we'll start by doing a little bit of a chant. Again, I request if you guys can turn your videos on. It's okay, you can mute yourself. It'll help me to connect. Okay, so we'll start by chanting, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how we will, go through the next 90 minutes. So if you're sitting on a chair, or if you're moving around, just be stable, one place. You can sit on the floor. We'll just chant with very simple chant that all of us know. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll also be chanting a couple of paragraphs from Taittiriya Upanishad, maybe one or two sutras from Yoga Sutra, as is relevant, as is appropriate for us. And the end of the session, towards the end of the session, perhaps maybe 30-35 minutes, we'll do a short practice that will include very simple movements, but meditative, so that we are able to connect to our Anandamaya, to our ability to have Santosha. Okay, so usually we do yoga to asana practice to either lose weight, become trim, become flexible, okay, or work with some condition we have or not. But today we will do the asana practice to build the attitude of Santosha, to connect to our Anandamaya. Okay, so Santosha is loosely also translated as happiness. It can also be called as contentment, which I think contentment is perhaps the closest to what we can call as Santosha. The purpose of all our life seems to be happiness. Somewhere we are chasing it. We are searching for it every time, whether we are doing a certain kind of study, we are doing a certain kind of taking up a certain job, or living with a certain partner, choosing a partner. There is always that underlying, the undercurrent for everything that we do seems to be happiness, the search for it. What kind of happiness are we seeking? That's a question that I'd like you to hold for some time. And what seems to be satisfying? Okay, is it something that we buy, maybe a gift, or something that we get, or when something seems to be picture perfect, Instagrammable, okay, no imperfections, without any mistake, spotless? Is that what is the Santosha that we're looking at? No, I think that Santosha comes from a very, very deep space of love, deep space from within us, which is the Anandamaya layer. And it is a space where we can experience pure joy, freedom from dukkha, and the joy despite all the difficulties in life. Life is not easy for all of us. For none of us, it is easy. Whatever appears to the external world, it is a very difficult thing to live. Someone may be very healthy. Someone may appear to have a lot of money. Someone may be very intelligent. They may grow very well in their career. But contentment is very, very different from what appears to be had by somebody else, or what we appear to have. Okay? When we don't get what we want in situations in life, despite that, are we able to continue to experience joy? Are we able to continue to experience that sense of love for ourselves and for the world? And that, I think, is Santosh. So as it was mentioned earlier, Santosha is one of the 5 niyamas from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So yamas and niyamas, briefly, they are behaviors and attitudes. They're not rules. Yamas guide us in having a certain kind of discipline, a restraint and behavior towards others and the world. Niyamas are personal attitudes, personal practices that one observes. So they are more personal, more intimate. So Santosha, if I can just refer to the Yoga Sutras, it is referred in 2.32, and it is chanted like this. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhanani, Niyamaha. And Patanjali also talks later that the practice of Santosha, what it gives a practitioner. Santoshat anuttamaha sukhalabhaha. Now please note that this sukham is not about the happiness of having AC in summer. It's not the happiness of having some extremely yummy food at a restaurant, but this is sukham at the level of the deepest kosha, which is anandamaya. Kham as a word, the meaning of kham is constriction. Sukham means expansion of that area which is constricted. Dukkham is already bringing it very close and, causing a kind of a deep constriction. That is dukkha. Okay. Now, Santosha is also a kind of like, you can also use the word santushti. So we hope for something to happen. When it does not happen, we are disappointed. When it happens, also we are not happy because there is something that is imperfect. We want to pick faults with it. Something that we are not satisfied, our expectations are not met. We are not content. However, Santosha is in those situations also to accept and to learn and to move on. Again, it is to be accepting and joyous in the most difficult situations in life. Rather than complaining, it is to accept and to learn and move on. With the permission of one of my students, I'd like to take an example. I work with a lot of people who are in palliative care. It is very difficult to be suffering in life, to see the suffering of your loved ones. In those situations, all our scriptures also say how we look within and look towards the higher power. To have the joy, to have the awareness, to be away from the dukkham, that we are going to leave this body, we are going to leave this, property, this relationship, or, whatever that you want to leave. but to say that, okay, I am satisfied, I'm content with my life. And to have the courage and the love to move on. Okay, that is deep Santosa. One of the commentaries of Yoga Sutra says that contentment counts for more than all the 16 heavens together. Now, my awareness of the 16 heavens is not so good, but you can look it up. And I'm quoting this from Heart of Yoga by TKV Desikacharya. Okay, so the happiness, again from the same book, the happiness we get from acquiring external objects is temporary. There is no end to it. But true contentment leads to total happiness and bliss. I spoke a little bit about Sukham that one can get if we practice Santosha. We'll talk a little bit about Dukkham, the other side, the other end of Sukham. Now, Dukkham is a reality in our lives. The cyclone that's happening in Gujarat is a great tragedy. And my heart goes out to everyone over there. So the nature of ourself is that we think we are separate, we are unique, our problems are only to ourselves, our journey is ourselves, we are lugging through life, especially in Dukkham. Okay. The three kinds of Dukkham that as per the text are Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika is what Gujarat is going through now. These are the natural disasters that, come from nature. We have no clue why they happen. We've all recently gone through COVID. It could be Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, not sure about it. Adi Bhautika is any Dukkham that comes from external beings. Cockroach in your house can also cause you great Dukkham. Loss of your sunglasses out in the summer can also cause a lot of Dukkham. So these are things that can also give us pain. And Adhyatmika, coming back to ourselves, is the changes in our own body and our mind, illnesses, health, loss of things, can also be a great cause of Dukkham. Along with these, our gunas also play a great role. We've all heard about gunas, 3 gunas, which are Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. They play an important role about how we experience life. So Rajas is, as you know, is the energy that makes us act. The energy that makes us quickly book tickets to the new movie that's come and plan everything around it and figure it out. You figure out your dinner, lunch, and who else is coming, all that. Yeah, and go through the traffic of every city, any city that you live in. That is Rajas. Tamas is the energy that is building, that forms a structure, form. It is also the energy that we need for resting, recuperation. So sleep is a very important activity of Tamas, and through sleep we heal. So Tamas is also very important. Tamas also gives us heaviness and lethargy. So I came back last week. I was traveling for 2 weeks, and I came back last Friday after a very intense 2-week study retreat. And Shivani knows that I've been avoiding her messages and all that. It was a very intense study session. So my mind was completely engrossed in that. I came back on Friday night and I thought I deserved winding down and I deserved to pamper myself before I come for the session. So I gave myself time till Saturday. Then my mind said, I think you need some more time, some more little bit of time. I guess some sense prevailed in me, and I said, no, I have to put my act together and be fully present and come for this session so that, there's some takeaway for you, a food for thought or something that you can bring in your life. So I guess that was a little bit of a glimpse of Sattva. So Sattva is also when Rajas and Tamas are not imbalanced. we can also say lack of these two. It is a sense of balance where there is neither restlessness nor there is lethargy, and it is light. And from this mind, can we look at Dukkham and go in the direction away from Dukkham. But this is ever changing. This keeps changing every time. We all have all three. We have everything that all the texts say. Okay, so sometimes the dominance of this Rajas and Tamas also comes from the deep need to protect myself, to be in pleasure, to not have pain, okay, and not wanting to be unhappy or sad, even for a moment, not even wanting to be bored. So I only want enjoyment. So a little bit of time you get will quickly reach out to the phone and look at some videos. So instant gratification for the mind. And it's very strongly embedded in us from a very, I can see from very young children, it's coming in. But life is not like that. There are many things that we have to work hard for, whether it is to have joy, whether it is to have even happiness of buying a lot of things. But I'm talking here, we are talking about the deeper sense of happiness, okay, of Santosha. So this is again coming back to happiness not being the opposite of happiness, not being unhappy, but we're looking at the suffering and no suffering that comes from freedom from Dukkham. Okay, the ability to live life with joy and contentment through a practice, through a sadhana, through an abhyasa, and through vairagya, abstinence from something. So abstinence from what can cause us Dukkham. So perhaps like I can give you an example. Sometimes when I'm a yoga therapist, so when I work with people, let's say, for example, having some gastric kind of issues, which is very common. A simple abstinence from the food that you are not supposed to be eating can keep you away from the Dukkham of, why can't I eat this kind of food? Why am I suffering with this? Why do I have to take so many medications, right? So, and not being able to go out with your family or friends like how you would want to do. So, Abhyasa and Vairagya are both important in our practice. Okay. One of the models I would like to talk about from the text is called Panchamaya model. Okay. Please feel free to interrupt me and ask anything that you would like to. So I'm also going at a certain speed. Maybe it's too fast. I also don't see any videos on. However, feel free to, stop me at any point and repeat anything that you would like me to. Okay. So yeah, I'd like to move on. And Panchamaya model. Pancha is 5. Maya is the 5 layers, sheets that we can say. It's one of the models that that come from the text. The other models are like Ayurveda, that's another model. Yoga is another model that we can look at. It comes from Taittiriya Upanishad. So the 5 Mayas are Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. I'll go a little deeper into it, briefly touching them. So this is a very interesting and a profound model, very simple to understand. And we use this very extensively in yoga therapy. Now, yoga being a very holistic approach, holistic philosophy, to be able to understand a person fully, not only for back pain, leg pain, or PCOD, or those kind of things, but to understand a person at deeper layers, we use this model quite a lot. Now, all these mayas, I'm just going to use the drawing board for a bit. Okay. So we look at the mayas. At the innermost layer is the Anandamaya. I'm going from the subtle to the gross as I'm drawing, but I'll explain to you from the gross to the subtle. Then you have Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Anandamaya, Vijnanamaya, Manomaya. You have Pranamaya. You have Annamaya. Okay. Just going to write the names. Annamaya is the external body, the physical body. Pranamaya Pranamaya is the energy body. Okay, I'm just going to write here. I'm not able to see it properly. Annamaya, Pranamaya is the energy body. This is where, all the different Panchavayus are guiding the metabolism of our body. We have Manomaya, our knowledge, memory, okay, the skills that we learn, ability to learn the skills. Vijnanamaya, this is where it becomes deeper and deeper from the Vijnanamaya level. And finally, we have Anandamaya. Okay, these are the 5 layers that we have. I'm just going to stop to share. We'll come back to it again. So though in the diagram, there are concentric circles, there is no clear separation between these mayas. It's not like you go from one to another. They're interdependent, they're interconnected, and one moves into the other from outside to inside, inside to outside, and we have all of them. We may not be aware or conscious of it too. Okay. To study oneself, we move from the gross to the subtle, because gross is something that we can see. We can see, feel our body, we can experience our body. Then we move into the subtler layers. Though we are not seeing our breath, we are aware of our breath. Okay, we're not seeing our digestion, but we feel it. Okay, we feel our circulation, and that's all part of Pranamaya. Manomaya is another aspect that we are able to experience to a certain level because of our knowledge, skills, information gathering. Okay, the rules of the society that we follow. Okay, all that is Manomaya. Vijnanamaya is where it becomes more and more subtle. Okay. It is the layer where sits our deep passion, our belief, our value systems, our Shraddha, okay, our intuition, the greater intellect of the wisdom of our ancestors, of the larger society, okay, from evolution. Then Anandamaya is the innermost layer of our being, which we are theoretically talking about it. Hopefully, we will get to experience a little bit, touch a bit of it. Okay. Now, moving from one layer to the other layer, deeper, is a slightly difficult journey, because to move from one to another, sometimes we are so drawn by the mundane of our daily life that we are stuck with, say, an exercise or an asana practice just to trim our waist, or to reduce the size of the hips, or to, say, tone our muscles. Okay, and we are stuck with. And it keeps us, it's very good. We are, we have to stay healthy. We want to look good and all that. But it doesn't end there. It goes much deeper. Okay. When we come across any vyadi is a kind of a rogam or any kind of an illness, then we want to look deeper into what's happening under the skin. Okay. As long as the body is functioning fine, we are not looking inside it. Once there is something happening from inside us, then there is a knock from within, and that's when we look at it. Okay. The season is changing. My eyes are watering, nose is running. What do I do? Okay. I've eaten at, Diwali time. I've eaten a lot of things. Can't avoid it. I'm, stuck with a bad stomach for a long time. So what can we do? Right? So that's when there's a knock from within. And then we are looking at our pranamaya. Manomaya is the heart that we carry, the emotions, the achievements, the knowledge that we pick, what we could not do a few months ago, few years ago, we are able to do now. And the sense of achievement that we get, the number of books that we are reading, okay, the things that we are able to memorize and, dole out, all that is at the level of the Manomaya. Different roles that we play also bring more attention to certain mayas, right? And when there is a change in that, that's when the expectations, they're not able to meet them. Okay, that can cause a lot of dukkha and a lot of unhappiness. I'm going to use the word unhappiness, sadness, okay, where we feel this is the end of it. And what do we do next? But we are unable to see that there's something deeper than all this, that these are all temporary. This is all touching at the ephemeral level. It's not very deep. And that's what we have to build. That's the muscle we have to build. Now, the Panchamaya model is coming from the Taittiriya Upanishad, the second in the third chapter. The second chapter is a Brahmanandavalli. The third one is called Bhrigavalli. In Brahmanandavalli, it talks about the model as an inquiry into the nature of the Brahman. So it starts from the physical body and it goes deeper and deeper. It presents the 5 mayas and the 5 parts. So interestingly, it is depicted in a slightly different way. The entity is not named. Okay. But it is represented as a bird because there is a head. And it talks about the direction of the head. Talks about the direction of the wings, the tail, and the body. So we also call it, in yoga therapy, we call it bird model. Okay. So the head faces east, the wings are to the north and the south, and the tail is the west, and the body in the middle. So like that, for each of the mayas, there is an anuvaka, a paragraph describing that maya. Okay. I'm going to chant a bit for the Anandamaya, what makes it, and draw it. Bhrigavalli is a dialogue between father and son. The son goes with the question. The son is Bhrigu, father is Varuna. The son goes with the question, what is Brahman? Okay. So the inquiry is like there is no dialogue per se, but the father directs the son to explore something. The son explores, meditates on it for not sure how long, for a very long time, comes back to the father and says, this is what I found. The father says, is that all? And the son goes back and explores some more. So like that, he explores Annam, Pranam, Mano, Vijnanam, and Anandam. Okay. So the son learns the deeper aspects of himself through his own meditation. Okay. Again, briefly, Annamaya is where is made of the Pancha Mahabhutas. It is also the Sharira, Sharira, okay, and that which can disintegrate with time and disease. Okay. Pranamaya is the energy body, the Panchavayus that direct our breath, our metabolism. Manomaya is the mind, the manas, that learns the skills, stores information, has memory, cognitive ability. It is also the experiencer, the bhokta. Vijnanamaya is the subtler layer of the intellect. Here, the intellect is not IQ. Intellect is a deeper intelligence. It is the larger wisdom that has been passed on to us from our ancestors. It is again the deep passion, commitment, our belief, values. This is where Shraddha, to do something. This is where we are rooted. Okay. One can be action oriented when you are rooted in the Vijnanamaya. So it is also called, they're also called Karta. Karta is the doer. So it also helps us to see and avoid, act in the direction of freedom from dukkha. Annamaya is the innermost layer of our being. It is the purest, closest to our true self. It is also the quest of happiness. Santosha is at this level of the consciousness. Okay. So I'm going to draw the bird model while I'm going to do this. So this is the head of the body of the bird. This is the body, the tail. These are the two wings. Okay. The head of Anandamaya is Priyam. Priyam is love. Okay. Which is dominated by Sattva. It's a love at a very deep level. Moda is the left wing, which is the Dakshina Paksha. Moda is Mudita, as comes in Yoga Sutras. It is deep appreciation, to be able to rejoice, the ability to rejoice in any situation. Pramoda. Pramoda is the right wing, Uttara Paksha. Pramoda is deep contentment. This is a quality of Santosha. It is the highest level of contentment. In the heart, we have Ananda. Okay. In English, it's also called as bliss. However, I am not a Sanskrit expert, but from what I have learned so far, I think that bliss, some of these words do not completely explain the extent of what these words mean. But however, we will take bliss for now for Ananda. The tail is Brahman. Okay, which is continuously manifesting, expanding, and that supports the Anandamaya. Okay, all of us carry this quality of Anandamaya. It may, however, be covered in our own fears, in our own pain, memories, attachments, aversions, obsessions about something, and we are unable to move into the subtler aspects of Anandamaya. Okay. Now, I'd like to leave you with a question. Can we connect to our deepest, purest part of the Anandamaya, of our Santosha in our lives? Okay. So through any practice, any abhyasa, any vairagya that you're able to do, can we really go through, wipe through, like, how the windshield of the car wipes away everything? Can we do that? And constantly do it so that we are able to see with clarity, we're able to experience our life with clarity. And when we say happiness next time, we are thinking about Santosha at a very, very deep level. Okay, so this is like something that we are maybe, sometimes we may have a glimpse of it. And it is, again, it is not something that will stay with us all the time. Can we work towards it? Is the question I'd like to put. Okay. In the, I'm going to take this off. And I'm just going to chant briefly the couple of lines about Anandamaya as from the Taittiriya Brahmanandavali. Tasyaisha eva sharira atma yak purvasya tasmadva etasmad vijnanamayat anyontara atmanandamayaha tenaisha purnaha Sava esha purusha vidha eva tasya purusha vidhatam anvayam purusha vidhaha tasya priyameva shiraha modo dakshina pakshaha pramoda uttara pakshaha Ananda Atma Brahma Pucham Pratishtha Tadapyesha Shloko Bhavati. So this is half the Anuvaka about Anandamaya, the bird model that I drew just now. Do you have any questions, anything that you would like to ask, anything that has evoked for you? Because after this, we're going to do a short breath practice, asana practice. I'd like you to go back with a quiet mind. So any questions you have right now, maybe I can answer.
नमस्ते मैडम।
नमस्ते।
हाँ, आप एज ए योगा थेरापिस्ट आपने जो बात कही कि ये आनंद और वैराग्य का उपयोग, अभ्यास वैराग्य, सॉरी, तो अभ्यास और वैराग्य का आप योग थेरापी में कैसे उपयोग करते हो, तो थोड़ा जानना था मुझे।
Can I respond in English?
Yes, but
yeah, slowly. I will try.
And little bit.
I'll try. Yes, yeah. So abhyasa is practice. So practice का मतलब ये नहीं कि सिर्फ योगा प्रैक्टिस या प्राणायाम प्रैक्टिस, सिर्फ वो नहीं है। तो प्रैक्टिस का मतलब ये होता है कि हमारा डिसिप्लिन क्या है, हमारा दिनचर्या क्या है, हम कैसे खाते हैं, कैसे सोते हैं, कितने बजे, हमारा डिसिप्लिन क्या है. ओके, दैट इज अभ्यास. ओके, even without a teacher, without anyone telling you to do it, is abhyasa. Okay. वैराग्य is avoiding, मतलब जो हमको नहीं करना चाहिए. जैसे देखिए, like I took an example of someone with stomach problems. Very simple, all of us, सबको होता है. मतलब हम शादी में जाते हैं तो शादी का खाना खाते हैं, या कुछ पार्टी में खाते हैं, तो पेट खराब हो सकता है हमारा. If I know that I have acidity or I should not eat something, I should avoid it. Okay, that is intelligence. If I say, oh, it's okay, it's a party, I will eat, then I'll take a medicine, that's not vairagya. Okay, so in some way it is like himsa to your body. Okay, vairagya is not only because there is pain, vairagya is also because you come to a clarity and understanding that this is how you want to be, this is your discipline. Okay, and I will only follow these things. Okay, so it helps in any kind of therapeutic conditions at the level of body. So it's very obvious कि अगर किसी को मिर्ची नहीं खाना है, तो you should tell them you should not eat mirchi. Okay, but later on the person should do it on their own. Okay, so that's how abhyasa and vairagya helps in yoga therapy.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Any other questions?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you explain the bird model like in a bit more simplified manner? Like how is it applicable to a person like us without understanding in very much detail like about the Upanishads or about the terms?
Yeah. So a simpler way of looking at the bird model without doing the whole picture is to understand that when we are talking about Anandamaya, okay, when we say Anandamaya is also where the consciousness, the deeper consciousness, Atma or your soul, however you're connecting to Anandamaya, what is it? What is the form of it? What is it? What are the ingredients of the Anandamaya? Okay, so to be able to look at it like that. The bird model was something that's how they represented in the Upanishad. But how we have to interpret for our simpler minds is to say that Anandamaya, the center of Anandamaya, okay, and how we have to look at what is helping us go in the direction of achieving Anandam is Priyam, is love. And what helps love is Moda and Pramoda. So just like how the wings help you to move forward. Okay, so Moda and Pramoda. So if one wing is not balanced, if they are not, working together in harmony, the bird cannot go ahead. We cannot go ahead. So for us to have clarity of the direction that we're heading to, okay, both the wings working in harmony, okay, so that we are able to experience rejoicement, okay, and we are also able to experience deep contentment with what we have, okay. And the tail is the rudder of the bird. So the tail is not working, the bird cannot turn any direction. It helps the balance of the wings and the rest of the body in the aerodynamically. So for us also, it's the Brahman which is holding us. And the heart of all this is Anand, is the Atma. And the heart is, from where is it coming? This is the Atma. So it's like saying that I'm oversimplifying, but I'm saying that if you have 5 fingers, each finger has something to do. Yeah. And so if you're looking at the layer of Anandamaya, these are the 5 ingredients, 5 support systems that help us go deeper, that help us experience Anandamaya. Perhaps someone can, can look at Anandamaya also as just pure love that you might feel, let's say, for a puppy. Okay, there is no expectation. There's no expectation if you see a butterfly. Okay, it's just such like your heart lights up. Now we are all waiting for the monsoon. I think the moment the first drop of water touches the earth, the smell, the memory, just accepting the rain. Yeah, and it's a momentary thing.
Is Anandmay Kosha, like, for example, you said that we can experience it when the first drop of rain falls. It gives us a feeling of joy. So, but can we experience it only momentarily for people like us?
I can only speak for us. I guess that's what we can do. But through our practice of dropping expectations, through a practice of staying in the moment, to actually practice all these things. Okay, maybe we can stay connected with love. We can stay connected with contentment. We can stay connected with our heart for a longer period of time.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. If we don't have any more questions, I would like us to do a short practice. Okay, the asanas are not difficult. As much as possible, if you could do, that be really to connect to some part, to be able to really connect with your Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and a certain aspect of the Anandamaya. That maybe you can take some of it back into your daily lives. Again, there's no compulsion. Those who are able to do it, please do it, and I will guide everyone. If you can turn your videos on, I can see where you are and move on to the next one. Okay, show me a sign that you're, you would like to, then I can, guide. Okay. Okay, so just sit wherever you are. You're sitting on a chair or you're sitting on the floor. If you're sitting on a chair, keep your feet down. Just support your back. If you're sitting on the floor, you can cross your legs in a way that's comfortable for you. Okay, close your eyes. Just scan your body once. Take your attention to every part of your body. Keeping your spine straight, elongated, at the same time comfortable. Keep your face relaxed. All your sense organs alive and focused. Keep your neck and throat open, relaxed. Let there be no tightness. The area from the neck all the way down to the pelvis. Keep it open and relaxed. Let there be no tightness in the abdomen, chest, diaphragm. Stay rooted in your heart, the heart center. Every time you inhale, expand from the center to the periphery of your body and outside. Come back to the heart. And when you hold after inhale, drop your expectations, drop the other. When you exhale, moving from the heart, engage with the world with a smile. And a mild hold after exhale, where you can see there is some clarity. Keep your hands on your chest, on your heart. As you breathe in from the center, move to the periphery and all the way out. Open your arms outside. Complete your inhalation. Come back to the heart. Hold your breath for a second or two. Drop the expectations. Keeping your hands in the heart. As you exhale, engage with the world. And as you complete your exhalation, a mild hold where you have a sense of clarity. Do this a few times, where you start connecting from the heart to the universe, from the universe back to your heart. You can hold this bhavana . From moment to moment, from breath to breath. As you feel connected, you can stand up. Now you're going to raise your arms up. Again, expand, open your body, open your chest. As you breathe out, you're going to bend forward. So if you're comfortable, you can bend forward fully, or you can bend halfway to wherever you can. Okay, so we're going to do like this. We're going to inhale again, open your arms, expanding and expanding and expanding. A mild hold. Start exhaling, slowly bend forward to the extent that you can. And as you're exhaling, stay connected with your heart center. Okay, do this about 3 to 4 times at your own pace. Just be mindful of your own body, your flexibility, your limitations, restrictions. Focus is entirely on the bhavana and how you move your body to enable the breath. Okay, once you complete, you can lie down. Please use a mat if you would like to. Okay, lie down, close your eyes. When you change your position, your breath can be slightly impacted. You will lose the rhythm of the breath. So just take a few moments to reconnect with the breath through your heart. The space of the heart, which is full of love, which is full of joy, the space that can expand limitlessly. When there is joy and rejoicing. Bend your knees. If you have not already bent them, please bend them. Keep your hands slightly away from you. Okay. As you inhale, raise your hips up, arching your spine, opening the whole area from the neck down to your pelvis. And as you breathe out, bring your hips down and gently hug your knees. Okay, do this 3 times very slowly. Every time you inhale, you are taking in, you're expanding, you're expanding. Every time you exhale, you're engaging with the outside from your heart. In the holds is where you drop your expectations, drop the other, drop the desire for something else, which is not here. In the hold after exhale, experience that clarity for these few moments. gentle movements, entirely focused on the breath. Once you complete, just take a few moments, and if you're able to sit in Vajrasana, please sit in Vajrasana. The last set of movements that we're going to do is you'll inhale, raise your arms and bend forward into the Vajrasana forward bend. If you're not able to bend forward because this is the afternoon time, just inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down, visualize the rest of the movements. Okay, so inhale, arms up, exhale, bend forward, take your forehead to the floor. Now as you inhale, come to Chakravakasana, which is popularly also called as the cat posture. And look up, arch your spine. As you breathe out, close your eyes and you can hum like the Brahmari and come back to the Vajrasana forward bend. So gentle. As you move your hips back, again, forehead to the floor. Do this another 2 times. So you inhale, come to Chakravakasana. Exhale, slowly go back to the Vajrasana forward bend. You can close your eyes and do this. Once you repeat it 3 times, you can sit. You can sit in any comfortable cross-leg position. You can sit on a chair. You can lie down. I'd like you to keep your hands on your heart. Close your eyes. I'm going to chant the last few lines of the Upanishad. Ha, bu, ha, bu, ha, bu. Ahamannam, 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 ahamannado, ha, mannado, ha, mannadaha. Ahakashloka-krid, ahakashloka-krid, ahakashloka-krid. Ahamasmi prathamaja ritasya purvandevebhyo amritasya nabhani. Yo ma dadati Sa ideva mavaha. Ahamannam ahamannam annam adantamadni. Aham vishvam bhuvanamabhyabhavam suvarna jyoti ya evam veda ityupanishad. Gently open your eyes. Thank you, those who participated in the practice. Thank you very much.